How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Mitch, and guess what? A very interesting story has just come out, and well, let's just say it's a little bit of karma, and it's just true equality. Now, what am I referring to? Well, I am, of course, referring to the recent sacking of L'Oreal's first ever trans model. And why was she sacked? And why is this equality? Why is this equality in action? Well, she was being racist to white people. L'Oreal has sacked its first transgender model after claims she posted racist comments online. Monroe Bergdorf reportedly wrote, "All white people are racist" in a Facebook post. The cosmetics company says her comments are at odds with their values and has now ended its partnership with her. The model has since responded, writing online, "Just know that in tearing me down, you're proving everything that I said to be true." And here is L'Oreal's tweet. And L'Oreal champions diversity. Comments by Monroe Bergdorf are at odds with our values, and so we have decided to end our partnership with her. Well, right off the bat, we already know what kind of trans person this is. This is your typical cis-het scum SJW transgender person. This is the type of person who would make all transgender people look bad because, believe it or not, she has been considered a spokesperson for transgender people. Yeah, that a nebulous group of people who are a very tiny minority who don't really have much in common with each other besides maybe political ideologies, and even then, that's a wide spectrum. And I just like how sacking her for racial comments is apparently proving her point that all white people are racist because, lo and behold, L'Oreal, a European company that prides itself on diversity and not being racist, sacks one of its partners for being racist. I mean, well, shock horror. Apparently that proves that racism is happening to people of colour. Wow, Bergdorf, I didn't know. Monroe Bergdorf, who is from London, was labelled the face of modern diversity when she was recruited as part of L'Oreal's #AllWorthIt campaign. Shortly afterwards, it's claimed the 29-year-old wrote online, "Honestly, I don't have the energy to talk about the racial violence of white people anymore. Yes, all white people, because most of y'all don't even realise or refuse to acknowledge that your existence, privilege and success as a race is built on the backs, blood and death of people of colour. Your entire existence is drenched in racism." You see, if I said that about women or Jews or another ethnicity, I would be sacked from my job. This is exactly what she deserves. When you go and attack a whole demographic of people for the actions of a minority of their ancestors that happened years and years ago, and even then it's not an accurate representation of history because, believe it or not, what built the West wasn't necessarily on the back of black slaves. She's also forgetting that there were a lot of white indentured servants, hell, even white slaves that were enslaved by other white people. And this goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Oh, she also forgets that Arabs and other black people also own slaves. But, you know, we can't be having facts here, can we? You know, when people say that diversity is nothing more than the code word for anti-white, they've got a point when she's considered to be the modern face of diversity. Yes, a bigot, a racist bigot is considered the face of diversity, the modern face of diversity, because she's a model. It's not like there's not been any transgender models before, but you know, whatever. But I'm glad that L'Oreal at least decided to live up to that modern face of diversity and promptly sacked her. The comments have since been deleted. The model and DJ claims she made the comments in response to the events in Charlottesville, where protesters carrying Nazi flags clashed with anti-racism demonstrators. One woman died there. Yes, one woman died there, and she wasn't black, she wasn't brown, she weren't native, she wasn't Latina, she was white. Isn't that ironic, Bergdorf, that you complain about people of colour being killed and enslaved when the person who died at Charlottesville was a very, very white woman? She was white. And of course she deletes the comments because she knows what she just said there can not only get her sacked, but also makes her look bad. And that means she also can't really stand by what she says. I guess you can only stand by what she says when she thinks she can get away with it. Clearly, what we see here is the case of a person becoming too big for their station. She's been given this title of the modern face of diversity. She's a model. She's one of the first ones ever in L'Oreal. And now that means that she thinks she could get up on her soapbox and spout her racist views that she probably should keep to herself if she wants a job. Because if white racists have to keep it to themselves to keep a job, why not black ones? Why not brown ones? Why not mixed race racists? I mean, if we're going to sack people for racial comments, for racism, for things like that, then it should be across the board. No matter what ethnicity you are, you should be sacked for that, because she represents one of the biggest makeup companies on the planet. They can't be seen to be representing a specific type of racism or all racism. They've got to act on this. This sullies their name, and she should really know that. But I guess social justice warriors don't really have any kind of inkling about that kind of thing. But again, look, reality suits them when it wants to, I guess. Today, she has tried to clarify her position, saying, "When I stated that all white people are racist, I was addressing the fact that Western society as a whole is a system rooted in white supremacy, designed to benefit, prioritise and protect white people before anyone of any other race. Unknowingly, white people are socialised to be racist from birth onwards. It is not something genetic. No one is born racist." So she's only really just clarifying her position by saying, yeah, all white people are racist. And let's just break this down. I'm not trying to say that all white people are racist, but that Western society is rooted in white supremacy and puts white people above everybody else. Well, why is it that affirmative action exists in America and black people have their own black-only universities and schools? Funnily enough, there was a whole furore in the 50s about desegregating the schools. Well, apparently that's putting white people above everybody else. And in this country, we have the whole BME employment scheme thing. It's not quite affirmative action, but basically it encourages people to basically put in those policies for their own businesses. Why do we constantly see a push to employ more people like us, because I'm a PLC too, remember, to these other companies like the BBC? They're always pushing for more diversity. Basically, all companies are encouraged to do this. Why? Because we're trying to improve their lot. The white people are trying to improve the minorities' lot by giving them benefits that white people don't get. Apparently, that's putting white people above everybody else. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that's definitely racist. And of course, unknowingly, all white people are conditioned to be racist. Yes, all those white people who are part of anti-racist organisations, who were one of the first people to call it out back in the day, are racist. Yes, my mum is racist, or apparently was racist when she was born. Otherwise, why would I be born? And yes, her mum must have been racist too, and her mum must have been racist too, even though none of them batted an eyelid when I was born, or when my cousin was born, or when my other cousin was born, because all of us are mixed race, or even my sister. Yeah, they're racist. And by the way, my great-grandmother, she was in the 70s when I was born. Yeah, you know, that World War II generation that I considered racist to these people. Let's not forget that her husband and my paternal great-granddad fought against Hitler. Apparently they're racists for fighting the biggest boogeyman. And of course we have a lovely little black supremacist here saying, "I stand with Monroe. WOC aren't merely tokens that companies can use when it benefits them. Boycott L'Oreal." The thing is, they employed her because they thought she was a good model. She's unusual looking enough to be a model. Anybody who's unusual and has the look, I mean, it's subjective, but anybody who has that look will become a model. They're not using her because it benefits them in that sense. They're using her because she's clearly got some potential. And even then, it's pretty clear that she's using them for her benefit, that she can make a platform for her racist views. Well, no, L'Oreal apparently aren't cooks. People supporting Monroe have been tweeting using the hashtag boycott L'Oreal. But in a statement, the cosmetics company said L'Oreal supports diversity and tolerance towards all people, irrespective of their race, background, gender and religion. The L'Oreal Paris True Match campaign is a representation of these values, and we are proud of the diversity of the ambassadors who represent this campaign. We believe that the recent comments by Monroe Bergdorf are at odds with those values, and as such, we have taken the decision to end the partnership with her. I literally have no complaints with that. I could not agree more. L'Oreal is literally doing what the SJW's claim diversity and multiculturalism is meant to be. They are treating her as an equal to white people. White people would be sacked for saying that. Hell, even I probably would be sacked for saying that. And I'm not even white. I'm what they would consider white passing, I guess. In a normal job, you would be sacked regardless of race. At least that's what I would hope that to be the case. And then in another article, which I've lost, I can't seem to find it, it's on my computer somewhere, I'm using my Kindle for this, guys. She mentioned that cosmetic companies are ignoring black women. Yes, I am not making that up. So again, we're dealing with your typical tranny SJW who can't seem to keep her foot in reality, at least when it doesn't suit her. And she's again trying to reverse the whole thing. She's trying to say that, oh, me being sacked is actually racism. Well, no. What L'Oreal is doing is what you demand the rest of society do to you, treat you as an equal. Well, that's what they're doing. And I have nothing but the greatest respect for L'Oreal. I always used to be annoyed at their adverts. I'm a man, so I don't really like makeup and all that stuff. But this just makes me want to go out and buy L'Oreal products. This is a company that stands by their principles. They actually do. That for me breeds consumer confidence. And if I had somebody who I loved, I would buy their L'Oreal products, especially now that this model is no longer modelling for them. I mean, considering that what she said is heinous to most people, POCs included, most people of colour don't like racists of any colour. I would not be surprised if most normal people would be turned off seeing her modelling for any other company. She thinks that now that she's not modelling for L'Oreal, that people will no longer buy L'Oreal products. Well, I'm sorry, but this was the first time I've ever heard of you. And I believe this may even be the first time that most people have actually heard your name. And I also believe that only your small minority of sycophants are actually going to bother to boycott L'Oreal. And they will not feel the hit at all, because that's what it is, a loud minority. So I think you'll find that maybe your career is going to take a nosedive, not L'Oreal's profits. Anyway, I've been Mitch. So until next time, I'll see you all later.